Good morning and welcome to my last Monday messages of the year. My next one will be Monday, January the 3rd, I think. 3rd or the 4th. I think it's the 3rd, at 10 o'clock. So thank you for everybody that has joined me, either live on my messages throughout the year or watching the replay. I'm equally grateful to both viewers or viewing habits. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just very grateful to all of you for joining me, and I really, really hope that in some small way, something that I may have said or suggested might have helped you in some way over the last 12 months, may have set a thought train going, or enabled you to think about something slightly differently, whatever, maybe inspired you in some way. I hope so. And if that is the case, without going into any details, it would be lovely to hear that, either with a thumbs up or a heart or something like that. That would be lovely. Or a comment if you feel inclined. It would be lovely to end the year with knowing how you got on with whatever helped you, whatever inspired you from these messages. It's not going to be a long one today, because I think that we're all very ready for the Christmas break, ready for an opportunity to spoil ourselves, maybe, and to indulge ourselves and to celebrate the fact that we managed to get through this year. And I know for many of you, doesn't seem to be getting any easier. It's just changing. And so it's even more vital these days to have compassion for yourself and compassion for others, because I think that one of the most unhealthy things that we can do is to cultivate any kind of division between us and others, whether that's our immediate family or whether that's people that we don't know so well, maybe people that we are engaging with on social media or that we hear about, or anything at all. I think just adopting an attitude of compassion, in so much as we all have our own stories, we all have our own unique perspectives on the world, and we all see the world through a slightly different lens. So what is really important to me, and a matter of absolute priority, is not necessarily going to be the same for you, and vice versa. We all have a slightly different priority list, and that doesn't mean necessarily that one of us is wrong and the other is right. It's just different, and that can really be highlighted when we're closeted with people in what is a kind of semi-lockdown, if you like. But Christmas was always a bit of a challenge for some of us, when the pressure is on to spend it with your nearest and dearest, and that's not always easy or smooth. And so I think one of the most helpful things that might carry you through is to remember that spirit of compassion, to understand that whatever somebody might be saying, whatever position they might be adopting, however they do that, whatever language they use, or whether that's accompanied by anger or fear or anxiety or a real desperate need to be right, just asking yourself, gosh, I wonder what the story is there. I wonder why there is that obvious need to be right, or that obvious fear, or that obvious anxiety or anger. what's the story? I don't know the story, so it's not for me to judge why this person feels the need to behave in the way that they do, or say what they do, or adopt a position that they do. We're all going to do that differently depending on what we've experienced in life. And so just maybe reminding yourself that you have that capacity to be compassionate. And that doesn't mean that you need to give way, that you need to agree or to condone anything that is antisocial or unkind or not compassionate to others. Not at all. But you don't have to judge the person who is the instigator of that. Just trying to be kind. Sometimes it's better to be kind than to be right, necessarily. So actually, I would invite you to be compassionate towards yourself as well, and to just be conscious of the triggers that you might already know are going to be under threat, if you like, from certain quarters over Christmas. Just try and be as conscious of them as you can, so that you're not going into a knee-jerk reaction, that you can just take a breath and hopefully just let it go. Just remind yourself of what your overall goal is for the occasion that you're in. If it's Christmas Day, for example, what do you want from Christmas Day? What kind of feeling do you want to have? Do you want the whole family to be together and to be kind to each other and be grateful and remember all that you have, to be joyful even? If that's your overall goal, just asking yourself, okay, if I respond to this invitation to argue or to get into something old, some old piece of dialogue, where's that inevitably going to lead me? And how does that help me have a joyous, loving, compassionate, kind Christmas? Maybe I could just let this one go, let it pass. We all get invited to all sorts of arguments regularly, especially with our nearest and dearest. It doesn't mean to say that we have to actually take up the invitation. We do not have to go there. And often, if we can be the grown-up, if you like, if we can be the more conscious of the two parties, then we can actually be big enough, if you like, to just say, no, I don't think I'll accept that invitation. I'm just going to let that go. And if necessary, walk out of the room, laugh, distract, offer a sweet, whatever you can think of, to just allow that invitation to argue and go down a long, much travelled road. I'm sure you're familiar with those roads. Just let it go, let it pass, and break that pattern. And then the person who has issued that invitation subconsciously is left with nowhere to go, and it will just dissolve 9 times out of 10, I would say. So that's my message really for this coming week, and possibly the next week after that as well, is to just be as conscious, first of all, of your own triggers, the things that wind you up, the things that are likely to just get in there and maybe wake up those old responses of irritation or unkindness or point scoring or any of those things, and just ask yourself, is this what I want from this holiday period? And if it isn't, let it go. It's not important. There are other things that are more important. And I think that if you can actually come together and remember that you are a family, and concentrate on what makes you a family, what brings you together rather than what divides you. And if we can extend that beyond our immediate family and outside into the wider world, then the world is going to be a nicer place. There is room for lots and lots of different opinions and debates, and sometimes quite heated. I am a great fan of a good heated debate, as long as it doesn't descend to being personal, attacking for the sake of it, and that we are very conscious of when we're straying into hurtful and non-compassionate stances, if that makes sense. So, having said all that, I wish you all a really, really joyous, beautiful time, a time to rest, a time to give yourself a compassion break and just allow yourself to relax, to sleep as much as you like, to take it easy, to get fresh air, enjoy the lovely countryside if you're in the countryside, or I used to love London in the cold as well, just looking at all the lights and wandering around and seeing the shop display windows and grabbing a hot drink when you can, which of course these days will have to probably be outside, but that's okay. Just wrap up warm. Do whatever you need to do to enjoy yourselves and to come together and to remind yourselves of all that you do have rather than what you don't have. Wishing you a beautiful Christmas and a very happy New Year. And I will see you back, hopefully, January the 3rd for my first Monday messages of 2022. So take care, everybody. Mind yourselves as best you can. Lots of love.